They say that you don't pay a prostitute to fuck. You pay that bitch so after she get done fucking the lead. They tell me that I don't be loving these hoes enough, and I just said that loving from a G ain't what she need. I met so many women that it's so now. Hate to say it, but I think my heart is getting cold now. Basically, I think that me and you should be alone now. I can tell you what I'm gonna do tomorrow for now. We together, I ain't Confucius, so don't be asking about the future. I just wanna beat it up, now I'm a producer. So let's just make a song, you can sing along, and we'll go back and forth like we're playing ping pong, something like that.
You know that you got it, I'm coming to get it. You know what I wanna do, and I know that you with it. So what you waiting for? Open up the door and let me in, yeah. Show me basket.
Will I see you tomorrow? Are you coming back tomorrow?
Shaky basket.
Will you be with me tomorrow?
Look, baby, my daddy died and my granny had a heart attack, and all I wanna do right now is lay you on your fucking back. But you keep asking questions, depression, suppression. It's getting harder when you think I'm Usher, no confession. It's coming out my motherfucking mouth, so why don't you just take your mouth down motherfucking south? Sorry, am I being too hard on you? Oh, showing off my battle scars on you. Listen, tonight I just wanna go hard on you. Tomorrow I can't talk about cause we too far from it. Shit, I know it's getting close to midnight, but every time you say you love it pushes me to dislike.
You know that you got it, I'm coming to get it. You know what I wanna do, and I know that you with it. So what you waiting for? Open up the door and let me in, yeah. Show me basket.
Will I see you tomorrow? Are you coming back tomorrow?
Shaky basket.
Will you be with me tomorrow?
I told her when the club is over, let's get out of here and get more acquainted. I got some bottles in the penthouse and she told me now you're speaking my language. When she got that and she told me how she really looking for a boyfriend. Yeah. I said that's cool, but while you here, let's just focus on what's important. How about laying you down tonight? Yeah. Let me take everything off your mind. Yeah. Go close to. You know that you got it, I'm coming to get it. You know what I wanna do, and I know that you with it. So what you waiting for? Open up the door and let me in, yeah. Show me basket.
Will I see you tomorrow? Are you coming back tomorrow?
Shaky basket.
Will you be with me tomorrow?
Hey, how y'all doing this evening? This is AMPspirationTTV, and I am your host, the Plump Queen. Well, it is Friday, last day of the week, first day of the weekend, and of course, I appreciate y'all being here and giving me all of your time and your energy. All right, well, tonight's topic is, as I said in my advertisement, something that I have dealt with, pretty much my whole life. And what sparked this conversation was a post that I saw earlier on a good friend of mine's. He's someone who's actually in the entertainment industry. Not going to shout him out. I'm not sure if he, wants to be put on blast, but I really respect his opinion and, his perspectives on, on life and certain things. And I already had my own mindset about it, but then as I listened to other people's comments, I've gotten, I would like to say, a little bit more well-rounded perspective on it now. And there's a lot of, I guess, moving parts in this, where we're concerned. So I'm going to take this time to make my disclaimer, fellas. This is not a bashing session. This is not trying to point out your flaws by any means. This is just an issue, well, I wouldn't even say issue. This is a lack of communication problem or a lack of understanding problem that we have in our community on how we relate to one another, romantically. We have these issues, there's always on both sides, there's wrongdoing or, there's things that can be changed. on both sides. Both men and women have their own individual issues that, that we need to overcome, so then when we come together, we can be on point. But I'm speaking specifically on this, so I don't want y'all to think that I'm just coming at y'all because you know how much I love, you know what I'm saying, divine masculine. All right, fellas? Okay. So, the whole point of this is is a difference between what men lust after, what they like, and what they love. This was the basis of the post. And on one side, it had two pictures. They had on one side Lisa Bonet. If you don't know who she is, she was the actress on The Cosby Show. I forgot her name at the moment. Don't be mad at me, y'all. But yeah, you should know who Lisa Bonet is. Okay? And then the other woman on the right-hand side, and by the way, Lisa Bonet was dressed as, I guess a regular girl. She had on almost like a crop top t-shirt, with some jeans maybe, and she had her big hair out, but she was fully clothed and looked very cute, and actually model-esque. Then they had on the right side a picture of Nikki Baby, which is a character off of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, all in her body conned, fake breasts, fake everything glory. You know what I'm saying? All weaved out and looking, Instagram glamorous and whatnot. So pretty much they circled Lisa Bonet, stating that, that type of girl is the girl that, he would pick to be his future wife, not Nikki Baby. So my response to that was, yeah, y'all say that, but your actions, and I put in quotations, your choices, say differently. So now what I'm going to say is actually someone made a comment on this about the way we look at each other now. Everybody now has different things that attract us now. We live in a very eclectic time where there are no standards of any sort. And the problem with that is not even actually a problem with that. I think the issue is that we have come from this cookie cutter, perception of what you're supposed to look like, what beauty is. And we've been trained this way. And now we come to an era, where everyone is trying to redefine themselves. They're trying to break from these quote unquote molds and, and what beauty is supposed to be. Different things attract different people. But we always go on a general sense when we are arguing and debating back and forth with one another about the reasons why, our relationships don't work. It's either the man's fault or the woman's fault, and we keep going back and forth, and we really don't try to figure out, the root of this. Now, I'm going to be talking specifically from my perspective. Again, like I said, everyone has different, life paths, and the way we do things and what we're exposed to is what molds our perspective. So my friend, in his mind, what my comment, didn't make sense to him, because he's not the type of man who would prefer to wife, a girl like Nikki Baby over a woman like Lisa Bonet. And I'm sure he means that. You know what I'm saying? But from my perspective, from my experience, that's not true. And it's not even about who you would wife or who you wouldn't. The point is that you're entertaining. You know what I'm saying? That, who you entertain, and that's what we see as a female. That's what I see, and that's what I gauge on. So you might not, in the long run, because when we were children, marriage wasn't even on the table. You wasn't thinking about, getting married in high school. So, when you're talking about wifing someone or, being with them as a child, that's not really where you are. You're actually just learning about what you're attracted to and actually figuring that out. And when you're figuring that out, social media, TV, everything that you're exposed to molds what you like. I know a lot of people really think that you have this preference and it's all comes from you, but it doesn't. Everything you've seen on television growing up, all of, your idols that you look up to, all of these things molded what you like. Because I know men right now, when I was younger, there were boys who liked me. Most of them, what they would do was act mean to me instead of actually pursuing me. But yeah, there were guys who liked me when I was growing up, but because I didn't look like, light skin, slim, long flowing hair, because I didn't look like that, there were a lot of dudes who did like me, wouldn't even pursue me because they were worried about what other people would think, what they boys was going to think about them being with someone that looked like me. Dark skin, natural hair. My hair was longer, but I always wore a fro, and I always wore or afro puffs. So I didn't get my hair permed or anything, or relaxed or anything like that. And I was a big girl. So I definitely used to wear my clothes bigger than my size to cover up my rolls and whatnot. So I didn't wear form-fitting, clothes. So I wasn't showing my shape. I wasn't giving these little boys anything to look at. So they didn't lust after me. But growing up, that equivalent to like. Again, love, you were children, so, you did fall in and out of love, but that really wasn't, what I'm saying, what you would think about. It's really about who you like. I want this boy to like me. What I'm saying? I want him to like me. And all of that dealt with being attracted to you. And as children, we are taught, what I'm saying, it's our body parts. We don't teach our children, to be attracted to someone's mind. We don't teach them to be, attracted to their personality. That's not what we teach our kids. That's not what we were taught. So, growing up, I got slept on. I'm blessed that I had a different mindset about it. It didn't take my insecurities to the extreme where, I wanted to hurt myself or I was just, extremely depressed. But there are people who've dealt with that, who felt that way, because, no one, would pursue them because you go by what you see. You guys can say all day that no, we want to choose you and no, you're this and you're that. But if you don't get chosen, if you're always the last one to get chosen, doesn't matter what, they say, the proof is in the pudding. So this is why, I gave the comment that I did, because there are men, right? There's a guy that I went to high school with. He was older than me, and I got back in touch with him a few years ago. And I had no idea, that he was attracted to me. Now, I definitely look better than I did in high school. The glow up is definitely real. I'm a grown woman now, and, and things of that nature. So I don't dress like a child. I definitely dress like a woman. And I do believe that I have a little sex appeal now because I'm a woman. I'm supposed to. I wasn't really supposed to have sex appeal as a child. I was a child. You know what I'm saying? So, but he hit me up and told me that, he had some feelings about me that, what I'm saying, he was attracted to me in a certain type of way now that, he wasn't, willing to tell me back then. And I was completely shocked. And it kind of makes me smile a little bit every time I think about it. But what he told me, when I told him, I was like, well, I'm kind of thrown off by this. Because first of all, I haven't seen you in years. He's seen or spoken to you in years. And you definitely didn't give me that attitude when we was in high school. I was either a really good friend or a sister. That's how everyone treated me, which is cool. Which is definitely cool. But that I was always put in the friend or the little sister zone. So you coming at me now on some, oh, you were sexy and I know you knew back then, what I'm saying, that you can get it too. No, I didn't. I didn't know that at all. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest, not to say that he was lying to me, but the thing about it is that his mindset was completely different then than it is now. See, I was not the girl, what I'm saying, what did he say? He said that, he didn't want, I was a good girl, so, they didn't want me into a lot of the things that they were getting themselves into and whatnot. They didn't want me to be a part of that. And I completely respect that. I love, like I told him, as an adult now, I that's more valuable to me than y'all lusting after me or liking me back then. But the fact of the matter is is that that's not, you didn't not do that because you respected me and didn't want me to be a part of that situation. You just wasn't attracted to me. I didn't look like the girls you wanted to be in them situations with. Because I'm sure those girls were sweethearts too. I'm sure they were good girls as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they could have had the same spirit and the same personality as me, but because they look a certain way, you guys didn't, you look past that. You didn't even want to think to find that out in her because you were looking at her breast and her, you know what I'm saying, looking at her ass and, her small waist and whatnot. So no, because if I looked like that girl, he'd have been hollering at me in high school too. That's the reality of the situation. So again, I wasn't mad at him, and I didn't mention this to him, and if he's watching, then he knows that I'm talking about him. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality of it. I didn't look like those girls. That's why he didn't pick me. That's why they didn't. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to say this as that if that was a bad thing, because it wasn't. It actually, you know what I'm saying, was a good thing for my life, because now pretty much every man that I have come across respects me. No matter who it is, I could see them every day. I could have been years that I've seen them, but when they see me or when I'm in their presence, they give me the utmost respect, and I appreciate that. Like one of my besties, has a real big issue, with that. She's extremely beautiful, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what her size is. And men, they make sure they let her know it all the time. And a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying, I think she feels like, even though she gets all of that attention, all of that lust, you know what I'm saying, they don't really try to go and look in deep and see who she is. So all of that attention really doesn't do anything for her, because what she's looking for is something real. She doesn't want, she wants, she wants the man that she wants to be with to, to be attracted to her. We want our men to lust after us. That's what we want. We just want our man to do it. It's really about balancement. And that's, I think, where the real issue is. It's not so much about you guys, lusting after one type of woman and, wifing another. That really, isn't the issue. The issue is more so, why? Why do you do that? And you have to understand is, as you get older, you change. Like when I was young growing up, and even now, older guys tend to like me more. When I was growing up, definitely, and even now. Because you older guys, you have lived life. You've been with a few females, so you see the difference. You see what you get when you just chasing skirts. You know what I'm saying? You see the difference between those type of chicks and the type of women that you're gonna take home and take care of you and feed you, and you know what I'm saying, be the rock, be what you need them to be in your life, your support system. Because you ran through a few of them, so now you've seen the difference. So now you make better choices. But see, as children, that's not the case. And we kind of need to start there. Fellas that know better now, you need to start teaching your sons, you know what I'm saying, a better way, you know what I mean, to attract women. You teach them that you know what I'm saying, you lust after everything, you sow your royal oats, you fuck everything until you can't fuck no more. And then once you get all of that out your system, then you go find a different type of woman and you wife her. Y'all don't see the issue in all of that? First of all, you've classified a whole group of women and made them not worthy to take home to your mama. That's first off. You've just divided that. That's one. Then two, you're actually engaging the majority of your life with women that you wouldn't bring home to your mama. That's counterproductive. That's a waste of time. And you're sleeping on and leaving out and not giving any attention, you know what I'm saying, to the good women. You know, you want them to just you want us to just sit around, you know what I'm saying, and wait and, you know, guess if we're attractive, guess if you guys level, guess if being, that's why a lot of good girls turn bad. Because we feel like being a good, what's the point? We're not getting anybody. No one's attracted, you know what I'm saying? We can't catch any fish. Y'all are going after the women that look like Nikki Baby. Y'all are entertaining these women when y'all go out in these clubs and all these situations. You want to wait until the good girl is in her 40s and her 50s and then show her love? So she's not supposed to get no love her whole life. Her whole life. While you messing around with all these other girls, and we just supposed to sit here and be celibate, or, you know what I'm saying, keep hope alive and be happy and all of that jazz. Stay positive. While we watch y'all entertain these females that you swear up and down, that you talk mad smack about and all this other jazz, and when you're talking to us, you talk about how better we are and all of this jazz. But those are the women that you spend your time on, you spend your money on. I got a homeboy right now, and if he's watching, I hope he don't, I'm not going to say his name, but he's super cool. He respects me and all of that good jazz. But he won't hang out with me because we don't have sex. He always has issues with the females that he deal with. And every time he talks to me, he says how he respects my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's attracted to me. If I was to give him some, he would sure take it. You know what I'm saying? So that's not it. But because I'm not that type of female, and that's not the type of dynamics we're going to have, he doesn't pay me too much mind. He doesn't want to hang out with me. See, that relationship with that in itself is a problem. If you can only deal with a female sexually, that's probably the reason why you can't find the right girl. Because it's more to that. Her looks, again, can't feed you. Her ass and her titties can't bring you peace. Her looks is not going to help you run your business. None of that is going to make her, you know what I'm saying, a good role model for your children. See, y'all fellas, y'all don't prepare. Y'all, it's like y'all have these two different lives. Y'all have your childhood, and then everything switches up, and then you have adulthood, and it doesn't work that way. You have to prepare for your future in the present. If you want at the end of your life to have a wife and all of that stuff, then you need to be preparing for that from day one. That's a lifestyle. I tell you that all the time. Monogamy, that's a lifestyle. Marriage, all of those, that's a lifestyle. That's something that you live. It's not something that you do. That's why I say that ring and all that piece of paper, it means nothing if all of that ain't in here and in here. That's why people can be with somebody for 20 years without that piece of paper and be faithful and all that, and their lives is great. And then as soon as they put, it doesn't mean anything. Your connection to that person and how you feel about them and your respect for them, that's what makes those relationships stick. You need to balance that. You need to start, y'all need to start lusting after the woman that you want to take home. That's what you need to do. And to be quite honest, fellas, if y'all change what y'all attract, if y'all brought home women like me, I guarantee you those girls will probably switch up what they do. Because don't think for 1 second these women out here exposing themselves are just doing that because they want to. They're doing that to attract you. You think these booty models is just putting a booty out there? No, they trying to get your attention. And it's working. That's why they're doing it. Y'all sit there and complain all day about what women, how you this. Again, y'all are entertaining that. So that's why they do it. Just like the way y'all talk, with women and have a whole bunch of them. You do it because it works. Right, fellas? Your punchline, whatever punchline works for you, you're going to keep using it, right? Because it works. It's the same difference. So, you can say that, I'm going to use myself, you want a woman like me. You say that, but you pass women like me every day. Simply because we don't look a certain way. You assume that we're not a certain way. You assume that we're boring. You assume, you know what I'm saying? You assume these things that we're not exciting enough because we don't look like that. Which is an oxymoron, because I thought y'all wanted a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. I thought that's what y'all wanted. And if that's what you want, then you're not going to see, you know what I'm saying, that freak out and about. We're not going to dress like that. We're not going to present, you know what I'm saying, the body that you claim. Because yes, fellas, ain't that how y'all feel once you get with a woman? We belong to you, right? Our bodies belong to you, right? So why would you want me to flaunt that? Why would you pick a woman who is flaunting that in the first place? Because just like you see it, so does everybody else. And then y'all complain about how, you know what I'm saying, bitches and hoes, you know what I'm saying, no, they ain't got no loyalty, these hoes ain't loyal, and all of this jazz. But these are the women that you entertain. So is there really a difference in what they love, what they lust, and what they like? To be quite honest, there is a blurred line. Because you lust, you like, because even though you just lust after these girls, you know what I mean, you still entertain them. You can say what you want about them, but you're entertaining them. Then you have men who my friend says that, he don't know no man as of a wife, but they are. I see it all the time. Now he said this only happens in reality TV, but let's keep it $1. Right now, reality TV is the most pushed, you know what I'm saying, content that we have right now. That's the new cash cow on TV. That's on every station right now. So this is what we see. This is what our children are seeing. And I think that's really the true point of me bringing this topic up. Because of our kids. See, as adults, again, we're older. We already have our own set minds. But we also have the power to research other things and to make different changes. We have these impressionable children who are coming up and are being taught the same concept. And they don't have the same couth and morale that we had when we were growing up. It's getting worse. There's less respect. So we got to start changing the way we teach these children. Like, just the whole way that boys and girls are taught is a complete oxymoron. You teach little boys to sleep with everything walking, and you teach little girls chastity. You have to, you know what I'm saying, supposed to wait, you're supposed to be a virgin as long as you possibly can. You know, you ain't supposed to, lose your virginity until you get married. How are we supposed to do that if the boys are out there having sex with everything? And who are they having sex with if the girls are supposed to be virgins until they get married? Do you see how this doesn't make sense? Do you see how confused that is? Do you see why we all screwed up in the relationship department, because at the very foundation makes no sense. None whatsoever. It's not like there are several different species, like you got male and female and that, this, that, and the third, where you really have choices. You only got boys and girls. And we're not going to get deep into all the changing and switching and trans and all that. That's not what this is about. I wouldn't get that deep. You know what I'm saying? But at the essence, you have boy, you have men, you have women. That's it. So you got. So how are you teaching the two people that in the end are supposed to, you know, they're supposed to be on one accord? Because ain't that what marriage is? Supposed to be one. One accord. Right? How, Sway? When you're grooming the woman for one thing and you're grooming the man for another. How is that supposed to work? See, this is where all these double standards come from. This is why you fellas think that, you know, the stuff that you do is okay, even though you know it's unbalanced and you know you wouldn't tolerate it. Like with the whole polygamy situation. You can go back and forth on how and why, you know, women shouldn't do that and all this other jazz, and we have babies and all of that. All of that could be very well true. But the fact of the matter, if you want to talk about balancement and being fair, if you're allowed to have a whole bunch of people, I should be allowed to have a whole bunch of people too. I'm just saying, if you're, that's only fair. Now, me personally, I don't need that. See, I understand what my womb is about. I understand, you know what I mean, what my genitalia is really about and how sacred and how really important that is. And not everybody need to be up in there. So, I'm Gucci on that. But facts are facts. You guys know, you guys would not tolerate the things that you feel that it's okay for y'all to do. Like with my friend, I have posted this picture. This is a picture of an old dude in a wheelchair with a blue house coat on, pretty much saying when, and he got this big old cheese smile saying when men are ready to finally settle down. And it is so true. And I know a lot of men feel like, no, that's BS, but no, it is true. And that's what y'all are taught. Again, your whole youth, you're taught to, you know, sow your royal oats, and you know what I'm saying, get as much punani as you can, and y'all wear yourselves out in your youth, and then you at the end of your life, when you in your 40s and your 50s, you expect the woman that you with to deal with the fact that your thing don't work no more, or you're tired, or it's too, whatever it is, because you have overly used, you know what I'm saying, your penis. It's a muscle like everything else. Wear and tear. And then you still expect us to be faithful. How is that fair? How does that work? To be quite honest. And what y'all fellas don't understanding, us women are defining ourselves by this. And I'm not saying that we should, or is that technically your fault that we think this way. But the facts of the matter is that's what a lot of us are doing. So fellas, you have this power. What you gonna do with it? How? For some, I truly was never taught that mentality, that the direction I steered myself. Well, you know, see, you're from somewhere else. Aren't you from France? I believe you're from another country, and you know that's something that I actually want to look into. So this is from an American standpoint, and you know, specifically in the black community. I've never dated outside of my race, so I really can't speak on, you know, how they do things. I can only speak about the black man. But then again, how we do things here in America is completely different on how they do things in other countries. So I'm very actually interested on how maybe you guys are taught, Because I don't know if, you know, men, I do this from my perspective. This is from a general standpoint about men and, you know, how they do things. But, you know, going abroad, international, it's a different thing. So that's something that I definitely want to look into. I'll probably hit you up and we can talk about that. Because I would definitely like to get that perspective. And again, this is the point of, you know what I'm saying, my platform. So we can have these conversations and have these different perspectives so we can come up with a solution so we can heal each other and so we can be better partners. That's what this is all about. We all say that we want love and we all say that we want to do better. We want things to be better, but we have to make changes. We have to rewire ourselves because, again, our behavior comes from what we're taught. So we have to reteach or reteach or relearn these things, these principles, and we have to have something else. We have to have a different perspective. You can't keep thinking or seeing the same thing and it's thinking you're going to think differently. It doesn't work that way. So that's why, you know, I bring these things up because, you know, I really don't think there's a difference nowadays anymore. You know, because again, like I said, the Nikki babies of the world are getting wiped up. You know, the Lisa Bonets in the world, you know what I'm saying, are getting wiped up sometimes. You know, it's different. You know, who we love and who we are attracted to is different for everyone. But why? What is it that, you know, what is your trigger? What is it that makes you attracted to this type of person? We all need to ask ourselves that. And it comes from a lot of things, not even just the way we look. You know, the majority of us, we pick our partners, you know, based off of our parents. You know what I'm saying? Majority fellas, the women that you pick, you know, outside of the way they look, because I'm sure they don't look like your mama, but the way they handle things, you know, their behavior, their attitude, their personalities. Because fellas, you've been with this woman. This is the first woman you've ever been with. Not like that, but this is the first woman you've been exposed to. You grew inside her, it came out of her, and you've watched her your whole life. She's your first example of a woman. So 9.5 times out of 10, the female that you choose, regardless of what she looks like, are going to have some of the attributes of your mother. So you start from there. Same with us females. You know, your lack of or having a dad, that's what you look for. Those qualities that you've seen in the very first man that you've ever been around. So you start there. Because a lot of times we pick the wrong person because we're not understanding that those are the things that's attracting us to them. We need to take these things into consideration. And we also need to have this for fellas. I don't see this happening, but to be quite honest, that would be the root to a lot of this if y'all would change y'all's mind on this double standard thing where it comes down to you being allowed, you know, to be with a whole bunch of females or just being willy-nilly sexually, you know what I'm saying, until you feel like you're done with that and then go get up, you know what I mean, with a woman and wife her and do all of that stuff. You guys have to think differently about that. Because guess what? Y'all are out here fathering little girls that are going to have to deal with the same things that you're doing to their mamas. I don't think y'all take that into consideration enough. Back to what you lust after. You lust after these women, and then you have babies with these women, and then you got all this baby mama drama. And you talk mad smack about these women, but you don't understand your daughters are going to be these women. They're mothering your seeds. They're going to be the first example of what your daughter is supposed to be. Y'all need to start thinking about that while y'all out here in these streets. They say everything that glitters ain't gold. Just because you have access to a whole bunch of females don't mean that's what you need to be doing. You got to start thinking about these things. Because again, like I said, you bring these children into this world and they are looking at the turmoil and the fighting back and forth and all that stuff. And this is how they're taught to relate to one another. and then they grow up to be adults having this conversation. We have to change that. Again, we have our set things that we need to do too. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to make another video, you know what I'm saying, on the flip side on how females need to do things. But with this particular topic with the post that I, you know what I'm saying, that I saw, I think this is very important to consider. Again, I'm not telling y'all to just, I know it's going to be hard, you know, again, y'all are wired this way. And you know what I mean? It's probably going to have to be a generational thing to kind of weed that out. But you need to start taking this into consideration now that you're an adult. And you know what I mean? You know a little bit more about life. And you know a little bit more about women. Start teaching your sons differently. Please, give your homeboys' daughters a chance. Because again, your sons are going to be getting up with your homeboys' daughters. Do y'all think about that? I don't think you do. When you having babies in the neighborhood and all of that jazz, y'all don't think about that. You don't think about what you're going to be teaching, you know what I'm saying, your children and what they're going to do eventually. Even though that's what you're doing at this very moment. It's like we tend to forget that. We don't take into consideration, you know, the things that we do and why we do them. And don't understand that we're that much of an influence on our kids and how they just replicate what we do. We don't take that into consideration, and we need to. This would solve this problem. And someone had said in the comments, you know, aren't you supposed to be lusting after your girl? You should. You should make the woman that you want, you know what I'm saying, to be with, you know, who you want to take, you know, that's what you should be seeking. Not just to smash. I get it, guys. I know. Good girls are good, so are sluts. A wise man told me that once. I get it. But if you want different, you have to do different. So if you know what I'm saying, if the Lisa Bonets, or you know what I'm saying, the women that look like her, or if you want the women like me, if we're the type of women, you know what I'm saying, that you respect and love and you want to bring home to your mama, then you need to be giving women like, you need to be giving us attention. You can't sit here and, you know what I'm saying, and push us to the side and, you know, leave us be in this corner until you ready for us and say that, oh, we're just being respectful and whatnot, while you playing around all willy-nilly with what they call now these thought monsters. Actions, not words. You can say all day, you know what I'm saying, like with my homeboy, you know, I haven't seen, you know what I'm saying, I haven't been around him in his relationships and things of that nature. So, but what I have seen, you know, he doesn't wife up females that look like Nicki Baby and stuff like that. So, you know, that's definitely his reality, and that's something else. I've spoken about relative and absolute realities. See, a lot of times two people could be in the same relationship and have a completely different reality of it. I knew this, but it was put into words when I was watching Marriage Boot Camp. Who was it? It's this girl named Aubrey. She was one of the singers from Puffy's little Making the Band group, Danity Kane. And she's dating what's this dude name? He's the DJ dude from Jersey Shore, Pauly D or something like that. Whatever. So they're dating and all of this jazz, and you talk to them, there are two different relationships going on. If you talk to them separately, she has a whole different perspective of what life is like with him than he does. According to her, you know, he is emotionally abusive. He's been cheating on her and just makes her feel like she's nothing and all this other jazz. Like when they're really, really good, they're good, and when they're really, really bad, they're bad. But then when you talk to Paulie D's on some like, yo, she's bugging out. You know what I mean? I don't be wanting to fight with you, so I dip off. I don't got time, you know, and he's a DJ, so his whole life is about part of his, you know what I'm saying, that's his livelihood, to be at a party, to be around chicks and whatnot. So, you know, he stated that he's never cheated on her. And her, you're lying, oh my God, and all this other dramatic stuff. Now, I don't know if the man cheated on her or not, but what I do know from watching the show, she has mommy issues. Her mother, you know, pretty much screwed her up. Verbally, emotionally, and mentally abused her. And she's looking in her relationships to replace, you know what I'm saying, what her mother didn't give to her. So anytime Paulie D does something that even remotely feels like something her mom would do or something her mom would say, she takes it completely out of proportion. Completely. The man was in there trying real hard, you know what I mean, to work with the process, do everything them doctors was telling him to do, participate with all of the exercises that's supposed to help them work out their problems. He was definitely putting his best foot forward. And nothing this man did worked for her. Nothing. And at the end of the day, they left the show not together, which was a great thing. But he said this, you know what I'm saying? He was like, when she was going back and forth about what he did, she was like, listen, like, your reality is not mine. Like, I don't know what planet you're on, but here on Earth, that's not going down. So again, your reality is your reality, and how people see things is how people see things. Now, sometimes that's not your problem, how people perceive what you do and how you do it. But when you're engaging in folks in relationships, that is your problem. Because you're dealing with them on a personal level, especially if you're trying to be in a long-term relationship. You have to take those things into consideration. This is why we need to start from the root. You need to know the people that you with. And to be quite honest, all the lusting and liking, and that's the issue, because that's how we start our relationships, off of that type of attraction, instead of being attracted to their minds, being attracted to their, you know, the things that matter, the things that are sustainable in a relationship. That's what we need to train ourselves to be attracted to, and let the outside, you know what I'm saying, be last on the totem pole. That's how you get with the right person. But we're starting off with lust. The fact that we have this scale of the type of, you know, woman that, you know, you sleep with, and the type of woman, you know, that you take home. The fact that there's a separation, that there's a categorization, is the problem. You've made two different realities for us. You have only given us, honestly, two realities. Now again, we are falling into that. We are taking it in. So, you know, we have to work on that. But the fact of the matter is, fellas, you have given us two choices of what to be. And either one doesn't work in the beginning or the end. See, the sluts, thoughts, the Nikki babies, whatever you want to call them, they get your attention in the beginning. And you sleep on the good girls. But you use up the sluts in them. You use them up for their good looks and their bodies and whatever and whatnot. And you use them up and then you throw them away for us. So do you see the problem? That's a problem. We need to really find, you know what I'm saying, we have to do more than look at the outside. You know what I'm saying, when we're talking about relationships. There shouldn't be thoughts and sluts, and there shouldn't be a category of that at all. Every woman should be both for their man. That's how I feel. You were supposed to provide all of that for your man. You're supposed to be the slut in the bedroom, do all that nasty stuff that all the other girls do. And then in public, You were supposed to, you know what I'm saying, be his queen, like the song that I played for Wednesday's show. Perfect example by Cleopatra, and I did it because of the whole Jill Scott little viral distraction, because that definitely was a distraction, you know what I'm saying, going on. So y'all don't expect women to look like her or the type of personality she has to be doing that. That's why it was all up in the uproar, because you don't expect her to be doing that. But why? She has a child. She's sexually active. She's a grown-ass woman. Why wouldn't you think that Jill Scott don't know how to take care of her man when she with her man? Again, you know what I'm saying? Why is it that you have to look like Nikki Baby, you know what I'm saying, all these Instagram models, you know what I'm saying, to be, you know what I mean, to be able or capable of doing things like that for your man? I'm not saying you're supposed to do that for everybody. But why, fellas, do y'all assume that we're not capable of pleasing y'all the way that these other chicks do? Why does it have to be different? Why only they get to do that? And again, why do women like that, why are they only good for that in your eyes? Because like I said, they're girls, you know what I'm saying, that look the way these women do, but deep inside, they're good women. They have good hearts. They have talent. You know, they have innocence about them. You know, you know what I mean? They're just as inspiring, or they can be just as inspiring, you know, and motivating as me. You know? So why can't you take them seriously too? Why does it have to be one or the other? The woman that you are pursuing is, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be all of that. Because forever's a long time, right? So why would you be with someone that is not going to satisfy you in every way? You gotta think about that, guys. I promise you, if you take that, just look at it that way. And like I said, can't gonna change overnight. But just take that into consideration for those who are still out there dating and sowing your royal oats and all that good stuff. If you have children, especially daughters, fellas, I'm gonna need y'all to really take this into consideration. You do not understand. You know, they say, you know, the sins of the father, you know, that should be true. You can definitely, absolutely bring karma, you know what I'm saying, your karma on your own peoples. Just to show you, the universe will do that. Just to show you a lesson. To show you the errors of your ways. Your daughter will have, you know what I'm saying, to deal with a lot of nonsense. Because of the things that you've done. Because see, while you're doing that, you're not teaching her. Y'all think y'all are. You think by just telling her, you know, you don't need to be able to do like, I've seen fellas say, oh, I don't want you with a man like me. Sorry, don't work that way. I don't care how many times you say that to them, they're gonna pick a dude just like you. So you don't understand, your actions is what teaches them. You can sit there and talk to your little girl all you want to. Don't get with this type of guy. They not gonna hear. It's going to do one ear and out the other. Because how, daddy, how can you possibly tell me not to be with somebody like that, but my mama's with you? I'm supposed to love you, right? I'm supposed to respect you, right? So how can you honestly tell me not to pick someone like you? So who am I supposed to pick like? Y'all need to think about that, fellas. I'm telling you. Save your babies. This is how we change the next generation. By making different choices and teaching. You have to start teaching your kids what you didn't learn. I'm sure your parents did their best. My mama did her best. But now that you know You need to start doing different and teaching your kids different, and stop. And teaching your children does not mean just talking to them. You have to set an example for them. With women too, you want your sons to date a certain type of female, or don't want them to be attracted to. Well, then you're honestly going to have to be a certain type of female. You have to be that example. And it's the same with you fellas. If you want your sons to be different, and I'm not telling you not to, let them use their, their natural charm and swag and all that. I'm not telling y'all not to be who y'all are. Definitely do that. But, you have to have some respect behind that. You could be charming, with the ladies, but you need to have a different mindset about the ladies. We have to stop using each other for, for things, and start relating to one another, from here. We need to see each and every one of us like that. Like every woman that you see, should be a potential wife. Every woman should be made to feel that way, and they should be brought up that way. Promise you'll have less booty models. Fellas, celebrate women outside of that. I guarantee you more women will cover themselves. Y'all talk about that again. We do everything that we do to attract you, and we go by what works. These women are doing this. They're dressing this way. They're presenting themselves. They're nipping and tucking on themselves. They're doing all of that because that is what you give your attention to. So if you don't give that attention, they won't do it. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to attract you, just like you're trying to attract us. So in that attraction, we're going to do what we think is going to work. And what works, we're going to continue to do. So as long as y'all lust after the Nikki babies are going to continue to be developed. It's that simple. If you want women, I know a lot of dudes talk about, I love women with natural hair. I hate when women have weaves on and stuff like that. Really now? I couldn't tell. I can tell now. But growing up, if you ain't had a perm, honey, you wasn't cute. I don't care how good the good hair that I got. It's the funny part. I got the good hair, as y'all say, because it curls up when I put my juices and berries in it. So I had good hair. As a matter of fact, all the chicks that wear weaves and perms and all that, they wish they had my hair. It's the funniest thing. Wish they had my texture of hair. Every time the females, oh my God, girl, your hair is so up. But for fellas, no. Not growing up. It's a little different now. Now I cut it all off. But growing up, it don't matter how nice and curly it got when it got wet. It wasn't slicked down, and I couldn't do none of this. So that wasn't pretty. I don't care what I did to it. And I used to hook my hair up. Didn't matter. So you can say all day that natural hair is better. And it is, in all reality. But when you're talking about someone's mentality on how they feel about what's attractive and what's not, if you are not going after, or you're not pushing natural hair females, we're not going to feel like we are who you want. If every female that you go after, all the guys that we are around and we're exposed to, and they choose females that look a certain way. Because again, it's not that I'm, a bad person. Again, like I had friends, I didn't have and I hate to say this, it sounds like I'm making fun of her, but Precious, the movie Precious, her character and personality and how her life went, I didn't have that type, of experience. I was big, I was black and all that, but I didn't go through all of the abuse that she did at home, and I didn't have that. I guess I didn't have that type of energy. So I attracted people. I attract people, not in a lustful type of way, but I attract people. So I've always had friends. I've always been around folks. So that's another thing that helped me get past, my insecurities where my looks were concerned. Because even though guys didn't like me, lustfully, they still thought I was cool. And now that I'm an adult, some of them are they look at me a little different now. Because again, like now I'm a woman. I now express myself as one, so I do the lipstick now, and I wear tight clothes sometimes and all that. I insinuate my body parts and all this good stuff because I'm an adult. So they're looking at me different. But what you got to understand is, growing up, that wasn't the case. And y'all as adults now need to take that into consideration when you're teaching your kids. Because these little girls and these little boys are feeling this way, and they don't know no better. We didn't know no better. But we do now. So we have to change the cycle. How do you do that? You have to change your perception on how you see, relationship, how you see attraction. What you're attracted to needs to change. Because beauty, is in the eyes of the beholder. Their beauty is vast, and this is so minute. This is just a shell that we dwell in. Your soul is who you are, and we based who we are on all of this. It's not about it being right or wrong. It is. It just is. That's what we do. So since we are aware of that, we have to tackle the problem the way it is. So fellas, do me a favor. Rethink. Switch up. What you're attracted to or what attracts you. I'm not telling you to start dating ugly chicks or, people or women that you don't find attractive. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you to do is find, be attracted to to the inside of someone, to their mentality. Make those things the top of your list when you're choosing, your partner. Because the older you get, you're thinking about the end of life and, results and, settling down and things of that nature. I understand when you're a child, that's not on your brain. I get that. But it one day will. We know that now. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. So we know better now. So we have to teach our kids so they don't have to deal with the same things. This is how we we start that unity that I'm always talking about. It starts with simple things like who we're attracted to. Those little things that we don't take into consideration. So I implore you guys to retrain, yourself when it comes down to what you're attracted to. Taking those things into consideration. I understand. Again, I know y'all fellas are not just going to just stop doing what doing what y'all do. I get that. But I need y'all to start at least taking this into consideration. Alright? Now, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all's being here. I hope that this topic has brought some type of insight or new perspective to all of you, because I am sure I am not the only one that has dealt, with this, and people are dealing with this, as we speak. So these are the things that, we can work on so we can better love up on one another. I want everybody to have love. We all need to be loved. We all need to love up on one another. And we have to find a better way to do that. We have not been taught the right way to do it. So we have to figure that out and have to teach our kids. That is the key. Or at least one of the keys. To our success as a people. Definitely. So enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend. I appreciate y'all being here. It's Friday, so You know, make sure y'all be safe and, you know, have y'all fun, whatever it is y'all's doing. I will see y'all back here on a Monday. And, yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Love you. Be inspired. Peace.